I can't believe I'm talking about Gabrielle Union again so soon. And yes, I know I did the Petty Pendergrass on her about 2 weeks ago, and me doing a video on her again 2 weeks later is, in my eyes, considered to be so soon. So, Gabrielle Union has made some statements and everything like that since her being fired from America's Got Talent. And many people have been rallying behind her, but I said, y'all don't know the real Gabrielle Union and how she gets down, or you probably do, but just refuse to acknowledge it because, and I'm going there because she's a black woman and apparently in many people's eyes, she can't do any wrong. I highly, and I do mean extremely highly, beg to differ. So we all know that recently I just did a video about Orlando Jones and how he got fired from American Gods, and a lot of people rallied behind him, because of the reasoning as to why he was fired. One of those people were Gabrielle Union, so she's throwing her support in behind him because of what happened when she got fired from America's Got Talent. So now she has to rally on the bandwagon with him, and I guess in my eyes to keep herself or this situation happening with her relevant. But she's done something else, which is why I'm making this video, that's separate from the Orlando Jones situation. So Gabrielle Union just, I guess, did an interview with Variety. And one of the quotes that she gave them was, "Don't be the happy Negro that does the bidding of the status quo." Well, that must be the pot calling the kettle black, because Gabrielle Union, you have been known to do the bidding for the status quo. As a matter of fact, you kind of did it when you was on America's Got Talent. You've been known to do it throughout the vast majority of your career, and you're kind of doing it now through the scope with your stepson and the endorsing of pushing the Alphabet Academy, which seems to be the status quo in Hollywood right now as it stands. So I'm going to read this article because I'm actually curious to who exactly she's talking about, even though when I'm looking through some of the comments, some people I think probably picked up on who she may be alluding this to. Speaking on a female empowerment and inclusivity panel at the launch of her holiday collection with New York & Company. Let me just stop right there. Female empowerment and inclusivity. What's the last thing I told y'all? There needs to be more female improvement panels. It's way too many female empowerment going on. And when I hear stuff like female empowerment, I'm thinking more so of accepting BS. Like, for instance, what Lizzo just did recently at that Lakers game. I would expect that to be talked about at a female empowerment panel. Basically, the accepting of BS and a host of other things. But nothing about improvement. Never that. Gabrielle Union alluded to her firing from America's Got Talent. And the thing is, now that she's got fired from this, she's going to drag this on for as long as she possibly can. They said she got other projects going on. Like I said, I don't think she does. Like I said, she's probably going to drag this out or milk this for as long as she possibly can, just to get as much support behind this as she possibly wants. While she did not specifically call out the NBC series, Union's comments marked the first time since her departure from the show that she addressed workplace inequalities in a public forum. Giving advice on being a leader in the workplace, Union said, "Don't be the happy Negro that does the bidding of the status quo because you're afraid. Don't allow them to call you angry when someone else is called passionate." Hold on. Wait, time out. Don't allow them to call you angry. Gabrielle Union, you yourself admitted years ago that you fit the archetype of the stereotypical angry black mean girl, and that you embraced it to get roles because you felt that's what you had to do to get a role. You admitted that. I will never forget it. I know I'm not the only one that forgot about that. She admitted that. I forgot what year it was. It wasn't even that long ago. I think it was like maybe 2013 when she was on some panel with other black actresses, and she said that out of her mouth. Let me read that again. Don't be the happy Negro that does the bidding of the status quo because you're afraid. Don't allow them to call you angry when someone else is called passionate. But you embrace being angry. You embrace that. And Gabrielle, you love to be the happy Negro when it comes to advocating for the Alphabet Academy. You got a wide grin showing all 32 teeth whenever that topic of discussion comes up. It's terrifying. There's a solid chance you'll lose your job. I speak from experience. She quipped, though never mentioning America's Got Talent. Do your best because corporations want global dollars, union continued. Do your best to try to hold the door open and hold people responsible. Yeah, I'm asking you to do the impossible. I'm fully aware that job loss is on the table. But if you're not doing it, nobody is. Why do I have the biggest feeling that the person that she's talking about is Okra, the Mammy Supreme Wig Free? Why do I have the feeling that's who she is subliminally talking about right here? It kind of fits what she's saying, to a certain extent. But I have a feeling that's who she's addressing. Speaking to the media crowd alongside Hannah Bronfman, stylist Solange Franklin, model and activist Ebony Davis, and co-founder of Plus Model Maddie Jones on a panel titled Power of Inclusivity and the Women Leading the Charge, held at Lauderay in Soho, Manhattan, Union explained her thought process when she is making personal career decisions. Ironically, they're in Soho. If y'all don't know, Soho is known to be a little, I guess you can say, community in New York that caters heavily to the Alphabet Academy. Just giving y'all a little geographical surroundings. How many checks do I need? This financial freedom, their shackles masquerading as zeros in my bank account. There are a lot of people who are only interested in filling their own plate, Union continued. I can't enjoy my food if everyone else is starving. Then again, she not only can be talking about Okra, but she could probably be talking about herself. You can discuss speaking her truth. There they go. That's another thing I hate. When people are saying, I'm speaking my truth. I hate that terminology with a passion. That's right up there with the pick me. Those are two terms pieces of terminology that I hate. Speaking her truth, explaining that she always found power through authenticity even when it's tough, especially in an industry where women of color have a history of being sidelined. And there she goes throwing that cape on saying women of color. For some reason, it seems to be very hard for a lot of our people to just say black. They always have to say person of color or men of color or women of color. Let me tell you something. That POC does not cover us. And if it does, we are way at the bottom to the point where we aren't even seen. Union spoke about the difficulties of navigating the grand question, what will I lose, throughout her entire life. Using the analogy of being the chip in the cookie, the only black person in the room, Union explained that ever since she was a little girl, she has wrestled the challenges that come along with speaking up, even when you know you're speaking up for what's right. Being the chip in the cookie, you are always in a situation where you are seeing things, hearing things, and you're presented with a choice. What kind of chip am I going to be? Are you going to assimilate and allow all of this to go on? Are you going to say something and immediately be othered? Are you going to say something? You know it's wrong. Everyone knows it's wrong. Union shared that she realized that she was experiencing anxiety, depression, fear, and terror every single day because her mind was constantly burdened with the question, am I going to say something? Eventually, I couldn't sleep. I knew I obsessed about every single time in my life where I didn't say anything. And it got to the point where I was like, that's not right. And every time I chose to speak up and the world didn't end, I could speak a little bit better. I knew I was doing the right thing. It just made it so much easier. Throughout Union's life, while she knew she could lose everything by speaking up, her job, her friendships, her marriage, she says she realized she cannot have real freedom or peace if she's sitting on the truth and knowing what is wrong. I've got to call it out in real time, she said. But you have to navigate what will I lose. I have to weigh all these things, how much I'm willing to lose for the peace. Asked on the panel about the ups and downs of being a leader, Union said the upside of leading is being able to control the situation, but the downside is being the first to speak up and needing to take the bullet at times. When you're a follower, often you're not being led by the right person. This is not what paradise or salvation looks like to me. You're using me to prop up fraudulent systems. I want no part of that, so I'd rather lead, even if I don't know where the hell I'm going. So the thing is, do you want to follow and this is away from the article. So my thing is, if you're a blind leader, Gabrielle, and you're blind, do you want to really lead other people who might be blind as well? There is a terminology, the blind leading the blind. But you know what it sounds like? It sounds like to me that like Gabrielle is the type of person that never wanted to take direction or take orders. Like, she doesn't appear to be that well of a listener. She seems to be the one that likes to talk over everybody. That's just me. That's just what I'm the vibe that I'm getting from her. Union. Oh, hold on. I skipped some part right here. I want no part of that, so I'd rather lead even if I don't know where I'm going. As long as I have air in my lungs, I will always try to cover us all, and I will certainly try to center the needs of the most marginalized. Union has not formally addressed her exit or her grievances with America's Got Talent, as exclusively reported by Variety and later Vulture. In late November, following Variety's first report and a flood of support from celebrities and advocacy groups, Union expressed gratitude on social media, tweeting, "So many tears, so much gratitude. Just when you feel lost or drift alone, you got me up off the ground, humbled and thankful forever." NBC Universal has engaged a third party to investigate accounts of racial insensitivity, labor code violations like Simon Cowell's reported insistence on indoor smoking, as well as hostile climate for AGT's women judges. Union has retained litigator Brian Friedman to advise her thought throughout the process. Cowell has retained veteran Hollywood lawyer Larry Stein. I don't know what else to say. At this point, she's just seeking attention. I'm curious to see what these comments, though, have to say pertaining to what she just said in this whole thing. Let's see here. I'm trying to see what I don't know what else to. I'm gonna read these comments a little bit later, probably off the stream. But Gabby at this point is talking just to talk, and she has still yet to apologize to Nate Parker for what she did, that treasonous stuff that she did a while ago, back in 2016. Pretty much threw that man under the bus after he gave you a part in his movie. Still ain't apologized yet. In her mind, she's probably forgot about it. She probably forgot all about it. We could tag her as many posts on social media and say, "Apologize to Nate Parker," and she'll overlook it. She will, because she just seems like the type of person that doesn't like to apologize either, which goes right up there and ranks with accountability, which seems like something she also lacks. But that doesn't surprise me. You know, it's some people that you wish weren't like that, and then you find out they are, and you just become extremely disappointed. That's her. And from what I'm hearing, it not only did, I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying it didn't have anything to do anything racial with the whole situation, but maybe, possibly, Gabrielle, you could have been out of your league when it comes to something like this, and maybe they didn't think you were a good judge, and they had to find a way to get you up out of there. And that was the way that they did it. It was simply your wake-up call. Everybody gets one. Some a little bit more intense than others. But I thought you had other projects going on. It's funny she says she has other projects that she has to do or had going on when this initially came out. But every time she's been talking since this incident happened, we've never heard anything about these new projects she has going on. They keep talking about this incident. So it makes me wonder, Gabrielle, do you really have something going on outside of this to keep your mind occupied while all of this kind of blows over or, gets handled behind the scenes? Because now it looks like you're just going on a tour, just telling people about your grievances that dealing with NBC and AGT. But I'm going to let y'all discuss that down in the comments. And I'm curious to see what y'all have to say. And I will talk to you in the next one.